I work exclusively with experts. And I want to show you what the top 1% of professional experts know that you probably don't. You see, in two areas, all the difference that's made is made in one or both of these areas. What you know or what you do. Take a look at this. What you know ranges from knowing absolutely nothing to knowing virtually everything. What you do goes from doing nothing to doing a great deal. But there are stages along the way. For example, in knowing, if all you know is data, that's just raw facts. That doesn't get you anywhere. But if you organize that data, it becomes information. And that informs by definition. So that means you know more. Your information, if you study it, will yield understanding. The understanding gives you knowledge that allows you to make better decisions and progress even further. And with experience over time, you develop wisdom so that you're operating in the top of the knowing scale. On the other scale is doing. And there's, as I said, doing nothing, and there's changing the world. Stages in between, doing just barely what's required or even less. Doing a little more, but only what's required and no more. Doing more than is required, but not a great deal more. Or doing a great deal more and truly committing to making a difference. Now, if all you do is get better and better on the doing scale, then you're constantly going to be in competitor mode, fighting against other people and trying to get yours because you don't see beyond what you're doing. If all you do is progress on the knowing scale, you might as well become a professional critic because you're just going to be a skeptic on the sidelines, observing what other people do and commenting on it. When you combine the two, you end up with 4 modes of behavior. A mode, modus operandi, mode of operating, is the way you're doing what you do. When your knowledge is low in any field and your doing is small, then you are simply a passenger. And a passenger does not lead. A passenger sits back and just follows the directions that are given. Should you ever be a passenger? Of course. When you're on an airplane and you're in the back, you're not the pilot, you have no business messing with the pilot. You have no business telling them how to run the plane. Sit back and enjoy the ride. You're a passenger. But when you're in the office and you've got duties to fulfill, or you're at work and you've got customers to serve, that's not a good mode for you. So, know more and do more. And if all you do is know more, you end up being, like I said, a critic. So you're a skeptic sitting on the sidelines observing and commenting. Not making a difference, but observing and commenting. And there's a place for critics, but it's not a very big place. If you really want to make a difference in the world, do more also. But if all you do is more doing, you end up as a competitor. And everything becomes about it. Am I bigger, faster, better, smarter? Was I first? You know, that's all about measuring you against somebody else. Well, that's fine. But what you really ought to be measuring yourself against is the former versions of you. And that's what gets you with more doing than is required, more knowing than just the fundamentals. When you're bringing wisdom and excellence to the table, you end up in leader mode. And I'm not talking about leadership positions. I'm talking about leading by your actions and your behavior, where other people want to learn from you, follow you, or be like you. That's where the professional expert comes in. See, I work exclusively with people who are authors, speakers, consultants, specialists, coaches, people who are advisors or performers who their business is basically them. They're the product. And they're selling their services or their knowledge or their assistance. And selling it usually on a temporary basis as opposed to seeking a full job. And there are stages of development along the line of being a professional expert. So make your first decision about how you can know more. Second decision, how you can do more than is required so that you're able to continually progress in whatever it is you're pursuing. Second, choose your level of aspiration. What do you aspire to? Do you aspire to be competent? Competent means you can sit at the big kids table, you're a player. You're not a competitor, you're not a real likely winner, but you can do okay. When it comes to playing guitar, which I do a lot, I'm competent. Not excellent, just competent. I can do a good job, right? And I'm content with that. But when it comes to professional speaking and coaching experts, I have higher aspirations. First level is competent. Second level is excellent. That means you're not only competent, but occasionally you can really wow people with how well you do it. Okay? Or next level would be expert. If you're an expert, you're not only occasionally able to be excellent, you can do it on demand because you've become so good at it. Beyond that, there are 3 more levels. One of those is leading authority. Pardon me if you have difficulty reading that. But leading authority in your field, that means others probably quote you on occasion because you've exerted that much influence. The next level would be celebrity. Celebrity is where pretty much everybody knows your name. In your field, you're one of the points of reference that other people talk about. Okay, and then the highest level would be star. Now, let's take the field that I grew up in as a business person, professional speaking and training. When I first entered this business, I entered as a trainer teaching Earl Nightingale's training methods. And I was a licensee for his company. I never aspired to be a star. I wanted to be what my mentor, Earl Nightingale, was. I wanted to be a leading authority in the field of personal development. Tony Robbins, famous motivational speaker by comparison, always wanted to be a star. And he is one. He's been in movies, he's made a huge difference and become exceedingly wealthy. Good for him. He's doing a lot of good in the world. By the way, if you ever want to know how do people get to be so wealthy, wealth almost always is a reflection of the amount of value you're bringing to other people. Increase the value you're providing, the service that you're giving through what you do, and your income will surely follow. Some fields you advance faster than other fields, obviously. So choose your level of aspiration. Do you want to be competent, excellent, expert, leading authority, celebrity, or star in your field? You see, what I do is I walk people through a process where we get their leadership level experience documented and solidly taught. We advance their education. We we find sources and methods of continuing education for the whole career. Then make sure that everything they do is customer satisfaction oriented and service minded, done according to ethical standards, and that they have evidence of their professionalism from client testimonials. Then they can earn and receive the Certified Professional Expert, CPE designation. CPE, Certified Professional Expert. There are currently 29 people who we have certified as professional experts. And each one of them has chosen the level they aspire to and has worked solidly on increasing their knowledge to the wisdom level, increasing their contribution to more than is required. When you choose to become a leading expert, a professional expert, you need to know, what do you have that's worth paying for? What's your brand? How do you stand out from your competitors? What is your ideal, who is your ideal client? Who should you be going after? Not just who do you dream of going after? What's the best business model for what you're doing, and what standard should you be operating by? When you hit all those marks, when you follow this process, you can take any field of expertise and build an entire career around it.